How's it going, folks? Welcome back to another match preview on the channel. Today we're going to be previewing Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Liverpool at Molineux Stadium this coming Saturday at the start of a really tough run of fixtures for Wolves. Guys, as always, let me know your thoughts ahead of this game in the comment section down below, and be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. And before we kick off into the video, I've pushed it a couple of times, but obviously now we are in December. Be sure to go and check out the Raul Jimenez Christmas cards that we've got on our website, talkingwolves.co.uk. You can grab yourself some of these Christmas cards and give them to your loved ones, or even a rival fan just to wind them up. But guys, we're going to be looking ahead to a really tough game at Molineux Stadium. Bringing in the in-form Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp side are firing at the moment. Their form has been fantastic. Scored 4 goals in each of their last 3 league games, if I'm correct. So they're on fire at the moment. Mo Salah, ex-Wolves player Diogo Jota, Sadio Mane, and then you just look at the rest of the team and it's just phenomenal, really. So it's going to be a really tricky game for Wolves on Saturday. And the pros at the moment for Bruno Lage's side is that we are defending well. You look at our defensive record right now, we've conceded none in the last 3, which is great. But also we haven't scored in the last 2. And against these tough teams now, to win, obviously we're going to have to score goals. But it's going to be a good test defensively to see how Jose saw, how the back 5 get on against a team that is free scoring like Liverpool at the moment. Got a solid midfield three and such a quick, powerful and ruthless front three as well. In terms of team news for Wolves, of course we will hear more from Bruno Lage on Friday, so be sure to follow us on all of our socials. Links in the description if you aren't already. Main ones really, Marcel is out with another player that is positive for COVID-19. Daniel Podence is another one which it's a little bit grey at the moment whether he's going to be back or not. It completely depends on when he contracted COVID-19 and when he tested positive. So he may well be back in the team for Saturday. However, I would not expect him to start due to him not training for the last week or so. So we could see him on the bench, but it completely depends on when his self-isolation is over. Ruben Neves is back in contention. You'd expect him to start after returning from his suspension as well. But other than that, it's pretty much the same squad. And we saw how weak that team was. You saw the bench against Burnley. Very weak, very frustrating. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we line up. Who comes in on the bench? Is Bruno Jordao, going to be given an opportunity to go onto the bench as well? I don't know. But my predicted lineup for today's game is as follows. I've gone with the more or less the exact same team that faced off against Burnley. However, one change. I've got Ruben Neves coming in for Leander Dendoncker. So Jose Sarr to start in goal. Sarr has been phenomenal. You look at the stats. You look how he's been getting on. He's been great. And if he can have another good game against Liverpool, that would be fantastic. The same back three remain Saïs, Connor Cody and Max Kilman. Big test for Max Kilman, who's had a good season so far. He's going to be up against the likes of Salah, Jota and Mane. Right wing back, Nelson Semedo. Left wing back, Ryan Aït-Nouri. Midfield 2 of João Moutinho. And the returning Ruben Neves. Hopefully he is fit and sharp and ready to go for this game. And then a front three of Hwang Hee-chan, Raul Jimenez and Adama Traore. Let's hope we see Adama Traore turn up. We saw him do quite well in spells against Burnley, but we just need that finishing touch, whether it be a pass, whether it be that final shot. Just make the right decision, and we could be on for a historic win here against Liverpool. But we have now got the opposition preview. I've spoken to a Liverpool fan and a member of the Anfield Agenda team, Craig, who gives his thoughts and the latest news on Liverpool FC. So then, guys, I'm delighted to be alongside Craig from Anfield Agenda for this week's opposition preview. Craig, how you keeping, man?
I'm good, Dave. It's been a while. It's been a while since we last spoke.
Yeah, I know. I mean, things are going well, obviously, with Liverpool at the moment. Still, as you'd expect, up there in the table. Sat in third at the moment, I'm sure, on your current form. I mean, you've only lost 1 game in the league all season, but what's the mood been like around Anfield and the Liverpool fan base at the moment?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think we're all psyching ourselves up for a really tough title race between Manchester City, Chelsea, and Liverpool, and hopefully we can go deep into the Champions League. But yeah, the vibes are good. Hopefully the injuries haven't been too bad to us yet this season, so all good at our part. All good. I'm looking forward to the game actually the weekend against you guys. They're always interesting affairs.
Yeah, I think we've beaten you in the FA Cup since we got promoted, but I think we haven't picked up a point yet against you. And looking at your form at the moment, am I right in saying in the last 3 league games you scored 4 goals in each of them as well? Do you guys fancy taking it easy on us a little bit on Saturday?
We haven't. I think we've only not scored 2 in one game this season. I think that was a draw home against Chelsea. So yeah, we've been a fine goal scoring form. I mean, if I'm going to give you a little bit of encouragement, we've been a little bit leaky at the back at times.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't scored in the last 2. But I think it'd be typical Wolves that we draw 0-0 with Burnley and Norwich and then somehow turn up against you boys and give you a good game. That would be typical Wolves anyway. How has Klopp been lining up this season? Has it been similar to the last couple of seasons? What sort of formation has he been starting up with?
Oh, we're fully on 4-3-3, and that's not changing for anybody. But we've finally been able to start fielding what we Liverpool fans believe is our strongest midfield recently, which is obviously Fabinho, Thiago, and Jordan Henderson. And look, I'm smiling even saying it, Dave. Just even saying those names makes me smile.
That's good. And you said earlier you haven't really had many injury issues or suspensions. Is there anybody that could be out for Liverpool this week?
Obviously, Firmino could be out. Naby Keita has been back training. Wouldn't expect him to be really in contention. Milner's back in. No, we're pretty healthy for once. You know, Curtis Jones had that really unusual eye injury that he picked up in training, scratched the cornea, which has kept him out. So we're waiting for the all clear from the doctors for Curtis Jones to be back. But Harvey Elliott's the only real long-term absentee that I would speak of. And that's a shame because, wow, what a start he had to the season. He looks like a really good player. But I also wanted to ask you, how's our boy getting on? Because I want to keep an eye on Keanu Hoover because I always held him in high regard.
Yeah, I mean, he's not playing much, mate, to be honest, which is a little bit disappointing. I think I might be wrong. He played in the Carabao Cup earlier this season, and then he got a couple of minutes last week against Norwich. But he's a strange sub anyway. I thought he should have come on a lot earlier, but he's not really had much opportunity, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. Actually, I'll say that I'm pretty sure he started the first game of the season against Leicester, and he did quite well as well. So he's just not getting much opportunity. He's not really playing in the 23s much either, Craig. So we can't really comment on him too much at the moment, which is a disappointing one. But there's a lot of players. Obviously, Fabio Silva came in the same window. He's not played much at all. So fingers crossed, sooner rather than later, we can see them, back in the team. And obviously, Diogo Jota, who played for Wolves, was with Wolves a long while. You knew I was going to ask about him. With Firmino out, there's a high chance he's going to start and play. He scored against us last season. He's been on good form already this season as well, hasn't he?
He's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The football and intelligence that he possesses at just 24, nearly 25 years of age. I don't know if you've seen the goal he scored against Everton last night, but it didn't even look like a chance, Dave, when the ball came to him. He dropped the shoulder, then on his weaker foot lifted it into the near post. It was just phenomenal. He's really hit the ground running at Liverpool, and an injury kept him out for a while, but the big debate about can Bobby Firmino push his way back into the team because Diogo has been bagging him in. We absolutely love him. He's got the attitude. He is a very Jurgen Klopp type player, and it's been a great buy and one of those that will probably go under the radar. But I think it's been one of the best Premier League purchases in the past year or two. He's phenomenal. He is phenomenal.
His work rate's good. I think I agree with that. The Klopp sort of player. He likes to press. He's got a good work rate. I always said when he was at Wolves, when you watch him play, you never sort of put him in the category of someone that's lightning quick, but on the ball, he's so difficult to beat off the ball. And I saw the goal in particular against Arsenal as well, how sharp he was and the composure just to take it around the two players and put it into the back of the net. And I think I said it at the time when you guys signed him. I think for Wolves at the time, he wasn't really breaking into our team, so it was good money for us. But at the same time, it was a good purchase for Liverpool because his ceiling was limitless, really. I think if he can better players around him, he's just going to score goals, and that's what he's doing. Fingers crossed he doesn't score on Saturday, but it is obviously good to see a former Wolves player doing the business and doing well for the Reds as well.
It's mad to see. It's mad to see that, like you said, he wasn't playing week in, week out all the time for Wolves, and yet somehow our scouting system with Pep and Linders looked in and seen this player that they brought in for what looks like a silly transfer fee now, but at the time people were questioning if we overpaid. He has been phenomenal for us, and I think he's he's going to be a mainstay of our attack for years to come.
Yeah, well, it was good news. Good news for, I mean, Nuno praised it a lot, obviously, because Nuno probably will get the credit of being that manager that sort of, brought him into the limelight a little bit more. But obviously, we don't need to look too much at Liverpool. They're in the limelight a lot. But for you, who is the one player, and I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is going to be, who's the one player that Wolves need to really look out for on Saturday?
Oh, it's difficult with this. I mean, I would say Mo Salah. You probably expected me to say Mo Salah,
Yeah,
but honestly, I think Jordan Henderson has been the key to a lot of what we've been doing recently. And I'm always banging the Hendo drum whenever I go onto any channel because I think he's underappreciated for exactly what he brings. And if he can start
yeah.
adding in a few more goals, like he started doing over recent months, I think this midfield, the double pivot between Thiago and Fabinho, it's a joy to watch as a fan. And it's going to be hectic, I think, at 3 p.m. on Saturday. I think it's going to be a blood and thunder affair, as they say.
I'm worried because I feel Wolves, because you got such an energetic front three, like a strong middle three. We always tend to play two central midfielders, and I feel, especially with Henderson in there, we could get outnumbered in the middle, and then even up top, if our wing backs break forward a little bit, you're just going to outnumber us going forward as well. So I'm quite cautious and curious to see how Bruno Lage is going to line us up if we go a little bit more defensive. And on the flip side, Craig, Wolves players, is there anyone in particular that you as a Liverpool fan are worried about facing up against on Saturday?
Not really, but I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just think Wolves are a team that are greater than some of their parts. I just think they're a very good team. I mean, I watch Adama Traore, and you're always nervous when he gets in possession, but then you always think he's probably going to fluff his lines when he gets to the end. I was watching the other day again, and he goes through like a wrecking ball. Nobody can stop him, but his finishing product just doesn't seem to be there. And Raul Jimenez being back, look, I think in the wider footballing world, a lot of people, including myself, have nothing but praise about Raul Jimenez. Absolute legend of a player. And there's a lot to admire about this Wolves team. So I wouldn't say there's any one particular player that worries me, but I just know we're in for a difficult afternoon because Wolves are a good side.
There's always links every so often, and more so now, about Liverpool being interested in Adama Traore. Is it a player that you think Liverpool would genuinely be interested in, or is he a player that you would take at Liverpool?
This divides our fan base. I mean, him and Sam Maxima are two names that are always thrown at me in the chat. And I wouldn't have Adama Traore at Liverpool. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know if even Jurgen Klopp could get him to be consistent enough for what we'd need. And I feel like he would only ever be an impact player for us. And I don't think that would be fair on him. So I'd say no, but we've spoke before. There is a player at your club that I think that I'd have a lot of interest in. And I think Liverpool fans will be looking at, and that's Pedro Neto. That's the one that I think for us that long term we'd be keeping an eye out for. Not to say we're coming to nick your players. I don't want to be that guy, but you do produce good Portuguese players, and Portugal are going through a very fine moment in the development of players. I have always enjoyed Pedro Neto.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Obviously, he had a really good season last season. I'm hoping next year when he comes back from his long-term injury, he's going to be on fire and on it again. We really need that attacking oomph, really. So I'm hoping that he can come back. Oh, I thought you were going to mention Ruben Neves, to be fair, as well, because there have been very slight links with Liverpool and Neves before, and
I don't
even
think we
in this
need
season.
Ruben Neves. I think United need that type of player more than we need that type of player at the minute. Obviously, we've got, if you're talking about a deep line player, Fabinho and Tyler Morton coming through. Hendo Thiago can do that role as well. Look, Ruben Neves is a smashing footballer. I think with Pep Linders here, having worked in the Portuguese system so long, he was probably the link for Diogo Jota as well. I've no doubt that they will have run the rule over Ruben Neves.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's a spot for him at Liverpool, but certainly not because he's not good enough. He is.
Yeah, exactly. But Craig, toughest question of the evening: score prediction for Saturday.
So tough it is, because it's easy to get carried away from me and go, we've been scoring fours, go with a 4. But I think it's going to be a tricky game. I think a 2-1 win. I think we might just get the job done 2-1, but I certainly am not expecting an easy 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we've been defending well. It's just we've been a little bit goal shy, so it will be interesting. I think we had an evening game at Molineux a few years ago, and that was a really tough game. I think, was it 2-1? I think you edged it in the end. I think Firmino scored. So yeah, fingers crossed. It's a good game, Craig. Hopefully both teams play their best football, and yeah, thank you for jumping on the channel. All the best for Saturday and the rest of the season.
Same to you, my man. And I still enjoy tuning in when I see a Wolves game, and I love hearing "Si Senor" being sung around for Raul Jimenez instead of Bobby Firmino. But it's just a great song, isn't it?
Exactly, Craig. Thanks a lot, mate, and I'll chat to you soon. So big thanks to Craig. You can find him and the other guys at Anfield Agenda down below. I'll make sure I link their channel. Thank you so much to them for coming on to the channel. Great content from those guys. And now time for my match, my score prediction. You know, I'm normally a positive Wolves fan. I'm very positive, but I think I'd look stupid if I were to back Wolves to get all 3 points here. So I am going to go, unfortunately, with a 2-1 defeat. I'm going to, 2-1 defeat. I can see us nicking a goal. I think the atmosphere has got the potential to be the best atmosphere it's been all season, especially if Liverpool have got that lower Steve Bull. I think, you know, it's going to really rile the South Bank Cup. They always like to wind the Liverpool fans up. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a really strong atmosphere for this game. Fingers crossed we can get 3 points, guys. But until next time, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all very, very soon.